Hi everybody and welcome back to the channel this morning. Now I thought I'd do this video and we're just basically going to talk about the petition, which is still running online, and obviously there was a lot of press done about it, which is to call for another general election. Now as things stand at the moment, okay, the petition stands at 1.9 million signatures, which is still running, and I believe it's still got the best part of 5.5 months to run on it. So the reality is it's already over the threshold where Parliament are going to have to speak to it about it. But the reality is it realistic that we're going to have a general election? Well, unfortunately, no, it's not. It is so unrealistic. But I understand why the man that got it put up, which was it was created by Michael Westwood, okay, did it. I completely understand, because as he says here, okay, and it says up the top, I'd like there to be another general election. I believe the current Labour government have gone back on the promises they laid out in the lead up to the last election. Now, there's a huge argument for this, because, and I've always had this, there's always been this argument at the end of the day that politicians lie all the time. And in the past, they would say, yeah, but economies could change at different times. Now, they haven't been in government for very long. They've been in, what, for about 4 months, 3-4 months. Okay, so they haven't been in for a great length of time. Things haven't changed a great deal. Yes, we've had the riots. Yes, Trump has won an election. Okay. Yes, things are getting worse in Ukraine to do with Russia. Take that into account. Yes, inflation is getting worse. So since the Labour Party have taken over the Conservatives, that's gone down. I think it was something like 2.7%. It's 3 point whatever percent now. The economy is shrinking. So you can take that into account. Okay. But then you got these other things, which they are in control of, which Keir Starmer said he was going to do or not do. He said he would not allow energy prices to go up, and he would get a cap on them. You're going to have 2 rises since Labour took over, because obviously there's another price increase coming in January for people. Not a great deal of money. It's £21. It's not a lot of money. For some people, that's an awful lot of money. Then obviously you got the issue to do with taking the winter fuel allowance. I've done numerous videos about this. I've said that there's plenty of ways that you could address it. Yes, there is the argument that people that are rich and extremely wealthy should not be getting it. It's no different. I remember many years ago, it's one of the Lib Dems, the one that said that there was going to be a banking crisis. I can't remember his name now. And he said that he didn't need the free TV license because he's a multi-millionaire. But he still got it, okay, and that's the problem with the fuel allowance. The other argument is that they've paid into the system, they've paid their taxes over a vast length of time, 40, 50 years, whatever, so they're entitled to that amount of money. And with having such a small floor limit, and I appreciate that, you are going to have people that are going to go cold. I spoke about it yesterday. Admittedly down here on the south coast, it's not too bad. Winds aren't that bad coming off the Solent this morning, so it wasn't too bad. Me taking the kids to school with my wife. So I can't complain about the weather today for the change. I haven't got the heating on at the moment, but I can afford to put the heating on. Then obviously you got the hit on, they claimed that they weren't going to put tax increases, even though the Conservative government at the time said they will increase taxes on working people. They claim that they didn't. Tax increases are going to go up. Whether it's you're looking at flights, whether you're looking at national insurance on employers, because I'm sure as how small employers who are going to be getting having to pay it at a lower limit, and it's going to be increased, they're still classified as working people, especially when the government don't even know what a working person actually is, which is an absolute joke. So from that point of view, I understand why he's actually launched this petition. It is actually quite funny. I haven't actually signed it myself. I did actually consider it because I have signed petitions on the government's website in the past, but I haven't signed this one because it had gone so far over when I saw it, and I only saw it, found out about it, one, because I went onto YouTube and Talk TV flagged up, and what was her name? Miss Phillips was doing a chat about it at the time. So I knew, and I went onto Facebook, and who was it? There was another politician that was talking about it. And I can't remember which particular politician it was at the moment. Nigel Farage. Nigel Farage was talking about it, how it was at something like 1.2 million or something like that. I can't remember the actual numbers. So it was around about 1.2 million. And I thought, there's no point me actually signing it. So many people have already signed it. But the reality is, there's not going to be an election. Even if it goes to the House of Commons, Labour got a majority. They've got no interest in putting forward an election. And even if he called a general election, you're not going to have a general election until, mid-January at the earliest, realistically, because you're going to have a recess at Christmas. Okay, so that takes out the best part of 2 weeks when, politicians aren't even going to be working. So realistically, and it's normally about 4 to 5 weeks of campaigning, you're realistically looking at mid-January before an election would even happen. And the reality is, Labour would still probably win it. Because the problem is, Labour are okay on the left, but on the right you've got the problem of the Conservatives and Reform. And they're squabbling over all them votes. And not enough of those, unless you had a position, and I doubt this is going to happen, where Reform and the Conservatives formed a pact like they did in, about 2020 or whenever it was, or if they actually moulded into one party like has happened in the past. If something like that happened, then there's the argument Conservative stroke Reform could win an election. Otherwise, Labour will win. And all you're going to do is get more lies out of Keir Starmer. I don't even know if he knows how to tell the truth, to be honest. So this type of thing, it is quite funny. But the reality, the seriousness, do we actually need it? The answer is no. I'm sorry. I can get all the hate and everything. I got plenty of hate yesterday and derogatory remarks sent to me in comments on YouTube as it is. I can live with it. I'm a big boy. I'm in my mid-40s now. I can live with that type of stuff. I'm used to it. I've worked in the double glazing industry. I've been called every name under the sun personally. But as a country, do we need that? No. We need stability. We've got Christmas coming up. We want people going out buying things. It helps the economy and everything. So an election ain't going to have anybody out. And like I said, who are you going to vote for at the end of the day? Keir Starmer ain't going to tell the truth, and Rachel Reeves, well, to be honest, she's just been proving how many lies she's made with all the things that she said that she wouldn't do or put in a budget, and she went and did them, let alone what a bloody CV says. So let's not get started on that. You know, I'm not really too bothered about a CV. You know, what I'm more concerned about is what they're going to do going forward. Are they actually going to be able to turn this country around and make it a success? You know, I'd actually argue that probably Rachel Reeves does need to go. But knowing the type of leader that Keir Starmer is, she probably won't go. She'll probably still be there in a year's time, come the next budget, whenever. Obviously, you've got spring budget and then you've got the winter budget or autumn budget. Okay, she'll be there for the next ones. I wouldn't be surprised. I don't think anything's going to happen to her. I may be proven wrong. You know, time will tell. But I doubt anything will change. So, you know, that's my personal opinion. I don't, you know, I do see the funny side of this and everything. It's not going to happen, no. Okay, so obviously let me know what you personally think in the comments down below. You know, if you disagree with me and have another opinion, just let us know. I'm a big boy, I can handle it. Okay, obviously, if you are new to the channel, if you could please subscribe, I would appreciate it. But for now, thanks for listening, and we'll speak to you again a bit later.